Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice, because today I'm going to be reviewing episode 3 of Star Trek Starfleet Academy teen drama 90210, whatever it is the hell they're calling this drivel that they're putting out. Alright, so in this episode we have you have the War College and you have the Starfleet Academy group, and the War College people play a prank on the Starfleet Academy gang, the group of plucky misfits, and have them beamed from their locker room out into different parts of the campus. And the rest of it is about, there's two parts. One of them is the Starfleet plucky gang trying to find a way to retaliate. There's also a competition between the War College and the Starfleet group of some sort of kind of laser tag, capture the flag thing to do whatever, and you have to do the pick a captain and all that. And then there's a couple of other little things going on. And again, it is just drivel, horribly written. And there's just some things in there, a couple little notes that I took for things that I have to point out. You have Holly Hunter's character, the chancellor / captain of the academy, and she's talking with the leader of the War College. She's in his quarters, where again she is just constantly lounging in her chair, which she does she can't sit in a fucking chair like any regular person. She always has to do her little lounging thing. It reminds me, there's a cartoon that I saw once as a kid where this one character, whenever he's in a chair, he's always posing, doing little things, and it was meant to be, a joke, a parody, where they're, constantly changing positions and everything. And that reminds me of what they're doing. This character is doing that, but it's meant to be this delightful affectation of her that she's doing. And it's meant to be, not meant to be funny, it's meant to be cute and stuff like that. And it's just annoying as all fuck. But they get into an argument, a discussion. He's telling her how to, do coffee, stir this coffee and all that. And he says, you go back and forth from 12 to 6. Which I'm surprisingly, they use that analogy, considering the kids these days wouldn't know what that means, because you'd have to know about a clock. the face of the clock. And a lot of kids these days just see analog stuff, so they don't know, anyway. But at the end, Holly Hunter's character is storming out of his quarters, and she says something to the effect of, "My 6 to 12 is your 12 to 6. Think about that." She might as well stuck her tongue out at the end. It's just in this childish, petulant tone. It's like, the fuck are you in, fourth grade? And that's a lot of the type of conversation, the dialogue they have in here. It's these people are supposed to be at college age, or at least intellectually at college age, but they're it's grade school dialogue. It's, I don't know if they just seriously underestimate the intelligence of the audience, even if it is written for, a younger audience. Or what? Yeah. Or they're just that damn stupid themselves. I don't know. But yeah, the next one is the way her character is. It's every time. I think I actually saw the character sitting in a chair once, or it's not just sort of like I'm just sitting here for what a chair is designed to do. She's either doing this or got some sort of leg up over the thing, or she's in a couch, she's lying down, or she's got her bare feet propped up on a desk or something. It's like, dude, just, you're supposed to have some sort of a bearing, or be, and then you have the XO, what the hell do you call those things? The Jem'Hadar, the Jem'Hadar Klingon mix, who is she's supposed to be the DI. Again, it's like I said in the last video, she is a horrible version of a DI. She's, well over the top, written by somebody who doesn't know anything about that type of stuff. You have, bad versions of that in movies, and this one is an even worse version of that. She's always yelling at the students. She can't talk to the students in a voice or, something like that. It's always a yell or threats. And part of being a teacher, even in the military, is there are times that they do that, and there's other times that you have to sit there and instruct and be, use a regular tone of voice. You aren't always screaming or getting in the face and threatening to drop, give me, 2 million push-ups or I'm going to rip your throat out and, whatever. It's just, and it's just, and also you have her doing that, and you have the other instructor that it turns out that they are a couple who is trying to talk to the stereotypical bully character, and somehow this woman knows everything that's going on between them, even though she shouldn't know what's going on, and she's just gives this little poorly written slop of a speech to try and convince him to what that he needs to change his attitude. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. And then he goes out and confesses to this other character that, that this is what happened with me and this is why I'm like that and all that. And he's just like, oh, let's all just. They're taking certain things and just wrapping them up within like a 5-minute thing with no subtlety, without the character development is forced as to where and they need to get it done in within an episode, where a well written, well developed arc for a character. They need to learn how to do it. As with reality, people develop and change over time. Someone came up and said, "Oh, you're not doing that." Maybe your parents did this, and you're ignoring this person. Why don't you do this? Oh, yeah, you're right. Let's go do this. No. And then you have the students. Okay, there's so much stuff going on with this stuff. You have, like I said earlier, you have a lot of these characters fall in with the teen stereotype things, like when you see anything with a high school or college thing. You have the bully, you have the brain, you have the outsider, you have this. And these are oversimplified, stereotypical versions of this. And one is a coward. But when you're doing this, like the laser tag, capture the flag thing, you're looking at some of these people and the way they're written. Starfleet, even though this is the first year back after a while, used to have standards for the type of people that you admit into this organization. Whether it's an exploration thing or a military thing. I know there's a big different debate on the type of organization that Starfleet is. You still need to have standards. You aren't just going to let any regular Joe Schmuckatelli or Joe Alienatelli into the organization. You have to have some kind of standards, even if they are lowered a little bit because you're starting back up again. And none of these people, you have in this thing, you're like, oh, why am I here? They actually had a character and they're saying, why am I here? What's going on here? In a thing where the worst thing that could happen to them is they get shot by a phaser and get transported out into the non-combat zone. So it's like they aren't even going to get. You're not even going to get hurt at all. You have the hologram annoying woman who's always just so, everything's so wonderful. She is a hologram. She, just like the Doctor in Voyager, she can turn intangible. Stuff can go through her. And yet, in this thing, she keeps getting shot. And the object is to get from one place to another, ring a bell, and get through it so you could try and make the team. And she can also, I guess, so why doesn't she go intangible, make it so these things can go right through her. And she's well, she's gonna win. You can't get shot. You aren't gonna lose. You just boom, 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 and you take care of this. But then they have her doing that later on in the show, and her excuse for this one is, "Oh, there's no rules against it." Then why didn't you do it the first time? Why didn't you do it then and win? It's just, it makes absolutely no sense. And then on top of this, you see her at the beginning when they lock out, you have her wearing clothes. Like there's this one at the very beginning, they're in the locker room, and there's a guy who's wearing shorts, and I can understand why they're doing that. They're not gonna have nudity on this. I don't see why they wouldn't, but then there's stuff. But then they have a guy, so he's in his shorts, but then he takes a towel and he wraps the towel around himself and tucks it into his shorts. If he's wearing shorts, why do you need to have a towel around your waist? You're covered. You don't need to do that. It's just stupid. But why is she wearing clothes? And you see her later on in the episode altering her appearance to look like a mascot. So she changes her outer appearance like she's wearing some, then goes back to, if she can do that, why does she need to wear clothes? The hologram, it's like having Odo wearing clothes. He doesn't need to do it. He can just change his appearance to do it. The holographic doctor, he never wore clothes. It was all part of him. Why are you wearing clothes? There's no point in it. And you add all this stuff together, and it's just, the multiple failures on just stupid little shit, the writing of making these people dumber than this remote fucking control. Just the not thinking things through, trying to make people, you need to have empathy. Yeah, but you also need to know how to do your job. If you're in a fight with somebody, if you're trying to, win something, you're not gonna have empathy. Especially if you know that this person isn't gonna get hurt, and they're supposed to be teaching you how to, for real combat. You can't have empathy. At the end, you're not the one. The stuff they're trying to, matches they're trying to beat you over the head with, that is more for the people who are, dealing with it on the diplomatic end of stuff. If you're in a battle where someone's trying to kill you, empathy isn't going to get you anywhere. It's just, and don't have a guy who, if you blink at them wrong, is going to just shit himself and go and cower and not do anything. That's not going to help you in situations. So this whole thing here is just utterly ridiculous, and the characters in here are beyond annoying. The writing is insulting. The characters are just parodies of, not even good parodies. I don't even think they're supposed to be parodies. But if they were, they'd be bad parodies. The only thing that they do well in this is make it look good. And, you have, like, the announcements overhead. It's like sort of what they have in malls or school. And those are also used to help drive the heavy-handed plot, because you're too stupid to be able to understand subtlety, I guess. And so, yeah, I'm done. Done, done, done. And if I was anywhere remotely considering watching any more of this series after the first two, this one kills it. Oh, here's the other thing. You have the Beta Z chick, woman, female. Beta Zs are telepathic. They're now Deanna Troi, she was empathic because she was only half Beta Z. Her father was human. Everybody, all full Beta Zs, completely telepathic. And they had examples in it. There was a woman in Voyager. You had Deanna's mother who was, telepathic. In this one, this female is fully telepathic, or full Beta Z, but somehow she is only empathic. And the brother is only empathic. None of them can read minds. Since when did this start happening? Maybe it's just people don't know what the hell they're doing. But anyway, so no, this show, no, it's monstrously horrible. I can't recommend it at all. But anyway, let me know what you think if you're watching it, and like, subscribe, possibly share, and most of all, enjoy the good Trek, which is most of the other shows. But anyway, later.